Hello. We're a little close, sorry about that. All right, we're going right, I suppose. Good morning and hello from Soul Pet Connections. I'm Jenny Brandon. I'm an animal communicator and energy healer for animals and their people too. This is my friend Tali. We're gonna have a bit of a ride today. It's her exercise day. And we're going to see how this goes. Tali is a 25-year-old Kentucky mountain horse. We have been working pretty hard on balance and engagement. Being a gaited horse, she is difficult to ride because she's kind of like a hypermobile jointed person, which is what I am, so I struggle riding her. And I'm loving how this is starting out. There's already some neck lengthening, and I'm definitely feeling things coming up in her hindquarter, coming up in the back. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble step, that's all right. I don't think we're gonna have any kind of crazy workout today. It is pretty hot. I think we're already in the 70s. It's humid. We're supposed to hit 80 today. And she's still wearing a winter coat. So she seemed already a bit warm in her stall. So we're not that we ever do anything crazy, but I'm gonna listen to her and let her tell me what she can do. So I'm loving how low her head is already. And I am feeling her figuring out that organization in the back. Figuring out that coordination and control of her body weight. She has like fuzzies flying off of her right now. She's so shedding so much. I think the pollen is getting to me already. Very nice. So this work is very much about focusing inward and about really making sure that my body is balanced. If my body is balanced on top of hers, then she can begin to balance her body. She's drifting a little bit to the right, which is her pattern, a little bit off the circle. So I need to make sure that I am loading the right side appropriately and making sure that I'm paying attention clearly to that. That right side is one of my challenges, so I have to pay extra close attention. And we're gonna poop. We pooped on the way in here, but now we're gonna poop again. My goodness. Look at this, just flying off everywhere. Alrighty, here we go. Good job. So I'm really liking where this is starting. She's struggling a bit, but we're beginning to work into a rhythm. There's a nice breath and a lick and chew. Really nice. She has good control over her body weight and her movement. She's fairly consistent in her speed, but every now and then we're slowing down, which is her matching that right hind. Nice. I feel a lot of expansion when she does that. And we have an itchy nose. Come on, honey bunny. There we go. And we wobble off of that because she's not paying attention as clearly, but also has really released that top line, so her head went way down, which is great, but it also means that she's more prone to losing the little bit of control. So when she releases those muscles that were holding tension, which were helping her organize her body to move forward, she loses a little bit of that direction. So this is kind of a process of letting go of the tension and then finding the strength and balance again. Letting go of the tension and finding the strength and balance again. Very nice. There's that right hind really coming in. And then we kind of lose it. Really good. This is really, really lovely. The thing about this work is it's on a super subtle level and it doesn't look like much. It's like watching a duck on water, right? There's just not a lot going on. Excellent. Visibly, necessarily, but there's a lot going on internally. So I like how steady she's feeling right now. That hind end actually feels pretty stable. Getting a little crooked, but that's okay, because that is only in reference to the fence and not in reference to her body. The goal is we stay straight in her body. So this is really, really nice. Very pleased with this effort. A little bit crooked again, so we're just going to ask to swing back over to the fence. And in that, we find a little bit of length in the neck again, which is great. So that little wobble ended up straightening things out. Even better. And we got another wobble going on here. So we're just going to ask, really load that hind leg and push from the hind quarter over. All right, let's see if we can dodge the poop pile, please. I don't like cleaning up shredded poop. And you have plenty of room to walk over here. Come on. There you go. Yes. Thank you. And a long neck while you did it. Ooh, even better. And I'm feeling a lot of back coming up right there. So what's interesting about that is even though her head is going down, she's not falling forward. I don't have the sensation of her pitching downward in the front. So she is releasing that top line, but the back is supporting and carrying her from the hind quarter forward, even though her neck is down. And that's the piece that's different about this versus what many other horses do when they stretch, is if the hind quarter is not correctly aligned and engaged, then they dump on the forehand and all that weight slides forward. They're much more prone to tripping that way, and riding it feels like you're going to fall down the hill. And that is not a pleasurable experience. So the key is really finding the hind quarter and back, finding that alignment. Another lovely lick and chew. And there's a bit of a wobble. We're just going to keep asking for straightness. Mildly distracted by some straightnesses in the woods. Nice stretch there. There's that right side again. You're not peeing. So she seems to be very much thinking about every single step and every single motion. Which the good news is it means I have lots of time to consider what I'm doing. So there's a little bit of wobble off the rail again. Just simply redirect. It's not any more complicated than that. Simply feedback about where her balance is. And now we're falling to the left and a little bit to the right. Lost our balance just a little. Now she's kind of got herself back together. This is really lovely. Really nice. So I have some other videos from quite a while back. We've been working together now probably 6 years, 5 years, 7 years. I don't even remember now. Once a week. There have been very few misses. We did not ride for 3 weeks this January or February, I guess it was, into February because of snow. But otherwise, she has been once a week, every week for the last, like I said, I think it's before COVID. Maybe it was after COVID, but either way, it's been a long time. And she is 25, so no spring chicken. About 2.5 years ago, she had a suspensory strain in the right hind. That hind has always been her struggle leg, and we kind of overdid it a little bit. That's where that came from. And so she had to be rested and rehabbed. Spent about a year on the ground, and then last March about this time we rode again. Almost a year and a half on the ground. And when she began riding last year, she was much stronger and organized than she was when we had left off before her suspensory strain. So the rehab work, not only did it bring her back to where she was, but it actually brought her beyond where she was in terms of her coordination and balance. Another nice lick and chew. Let's see where we are time-wise. Ooh, 15 minutes already. Doesn't even feel like it. So I'm going to get down the other side since the jumps are on this side. And we're going to turn around. So we work for about 30 minutes. Somewhere between 30 and 40. We had been working up to 50 prior to the snow, but we've only had a few weeks back now. I guess it's just around a month back now, and so we're still kind of trying to push that number back up. But like I said, it's hot today. There's a crow friend coming in for a visit on the other fence. So I don't want to push her too hard today because of the heat. She is 25, so we're not going to overdo it. We already did that once and the outcome was not enjoyable. So we're just going to build strength as slowly as it takes. And she tells me, she's very kind and tells me when she's done. So I listen. There's a little bit of a release and a wobble. That's what we talked about before. I can feel her kind of starting to think about falling in, so starting to add more weight on that right side again. Make sure that she's not cheating and unloading it. So we found a little bit more of a gear here. A little bit more balance and strength, like that. See how it is when we get to the end, whether we change direction or whether we go one more lap and see how this holds. Bugs are out today too. There we go. So there's definitely some changes going on in here, so I think there's a wobble. I think we're gonna try and go another lap before we change direction. Maybe we'll change on the short end instead of coming all the way down here. Because I'm liking where she's at, and I want to make sure that this is really solidified in here since this is her harder side. There we go. I tend to get a little bit more time out of her if we go right first, as her left holds up longer. Very nice. So I like those stretches. That's her top line letting go. So this makes me glad that we did not change yet, because I want her to really get this kind of solidified, whatever's letting go, and finding more stability somewhere else. There. Very nice. And a little sigh. I always sigh when my animals sigh, so I figure that I could probably do with a little bit of a release of breath too. It's always a great opportunity for me to check in my own body, look for any areas of tension that might be hiding. Let's not kick the poop. Very good. Thank you. Look for any sneaky areas of tension. And make sure that I am asking them to be in alignment and to let go. My neck and shoulders is one spot that I have to watch out for. That breeze feels lovely. Really nice. Yeah, this is really good. Very happy with this. Another little stretch. There's that hind end. Very nice. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and change direction here at this corner instead of going all the way down. Make sure we have enough gas left in the tank to effectively work the left side. All right, so we're going to pay close attention and really ask to stay in this corner. She wobbled out further than I would have liked, but that's okay. And we're going to hit this corner and just keep turning. And she goes, whoa, that's a wobble. Very nice. So now we kind of have to make this tight though, because we got to get around to the other side. There we go. Let's check our time. Oh my goodness, 20 minutes in that direction. Way to go. Holy moly. Oop. And some pretty nice big stretches right off the bat. So faster speed in this direction because she is a little more stable. She doesn't have to work as hard to control her balance. Nice stretches too, which is really lovely. Nice avoiding the poop, mama. And another stretch. Very good. And a breath. Very nice. Clunk in the shoulders. There's something just let go. Felt like it was in the right, but that's not always easy to tell. And I often find out that I'm wrong. And there's definitely some shifting going on in the hind quarter, and we are deep in this corner, which is nice. Nice and straight. Biggest key is keeping that spine aligned, front to back, all the way from pole to tail. Because only then can the coordination come through the rest of the body. Go away, bugs. Go away, bugs. I am not interesting, I promise. All right. Nice, nice. She's just really coming through the hind end at this point. Ah. Her hair is just flying off of her. Oh my goodness. Lots of interesting noises out in the woods today. Really nice. She's doing a great job maintaining her speed and coordination. And there's a lot of lift in the back right there. That is nice. And then she can't quite hold it, so she slows down a little bit. Some of that is momentum, trying to compensate, but that was some super effort right there. So this can look a bit like paint drying, but it's all on a very, very subtle body level. And at one time, this horse was scared stiff. She ran around with her head in the air all the time, in a panic, was hyper responsive to things, overreacted to almost everything. And in a lot of regards was really not rideable. There are many riders that could have ridden her, but at that point when they're that afraid, what is the cost? So I don't appreciate putting horses through things like that just because you can. I mean, I don't want to ride a scared horse. That doesn't sound like a good time to me. So we're at a point now where we don't have that problem. We have ridden in the field out there. We had to do that once because the arena was frozen in the winter. But we got our workout done. She was more distracted, but not at all unmanageable. Oh, that's pretty nice. Pretty steady. There's a little more length in the neck. Again. Really nice. Really, really nice. Keep getting her hair on me and it tickles, and then I wonder if it's a bug. This is great. So she gave me 20 minutes to the right. Ideally, I would love 20 minutes to the left, but we're gonna see what we get. We're at 26 right now, and 30 to 35 has been her normal. So I'll be really happy if we get to 35. If we were to get to 40, I would be tickled. But we'll see how she does, because she's gonna tell me. Another really nice looking chew. She's going to tell me what she can handle. This still actually feels pretty good. I am pleased with that. Oh, and we're going to poop. Baby girl, you haven't even eaten your hay this morning. You must be getting a lot of grass out there. Whee! My goodness. All right, now we got to dodge 2 piles. Making it tricky. There we go. No, we're not finished. We are not done, sweet pea. I appreciate you asking. You're doing lovely. But we're gonna keep going. Nice, couple nice stretches, a little weeble wobble. Nope. Come on. There we go. So I can feel her getting tired, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop just yet. We're at 28 and a half, so we're definitely going to make it to 30. See if we can do a couple more laps. We'll probably be at 30 minutes in one lap, because these laps are slow. So we'll see if we can get 2 more and still hold it together well enough that we can hang in there to make progress. There comes a point of fatigue where, especially if you're working on anything in coordination, you don't want to pass that point, because compensation patterns will start to creep in, whether that's you or the horse. You have to remember that it is a two-way street. And what's important, let's just let that fly away. It's going to be all over me anyway, but oh well. What's important is that you are respecting whichever of you gets to that point first. So some days that might be you as a rider, and some days that might be her as the horse. But that you don't blow through that threshold into the fatigue that is going to create bad patterns. All right, there's a poop pile right there. We really don't want to step on it. Can we go slightly to the outside? That's lovely. There we go. There we go. Very nice. So I can tell she's getting a bit wobbly, but we're going to push on for one more lap and assess again. if it's something we can hold together or if it's something that we need to quit. There we go. Very nice. All right. If you have to pee, I'll let you stop for real, but somehow I don't quite think you have to pee right now. Very nice lift in the back again, so that's good. Still maintaining that. Excellent. We're kind of weeble wobbling in and out of it. I was right. We're now at 31. So let's see if we can get one more lap. Yeah, I can feel her beginning to wobble harder. She just gave me the side eye like, really, lady? Really? Still? Very nice. Very nice. So it's interesting, even though she's fatiguing, she's not wobbling as much as she has sometimes in the past. So it's really, really nice to notice. Come on. There we go. I like a little stretch at the beginning of the steps off. That's helpful. She is also getting weeble wobbly to the point where it is a little tricky for me to manage. But we're doing okay right now, so let's see if we can get back around to the other side. I don't like to stop her at the gate. Try not to stop her in the same place repeatedly. Pileated woodpecker talking to us up there. Very nice. Just making me work on the reins a bit. All right, we're going to the other side. We're not stopping here. Very nice. A little more. A little more. That's the not. We're on the other side of the arena, not the gate. Sometimes they take you literally. All right, let's get around this corner. Let's find some good strides. And we didn't get there yet. All right. And we'll call that done. Way to go, Missy. Good job, Mama. Oof. Fly away here, fly away. It is everywhere. Very, very lovely. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you again next time.